Hey dudes, what's going on? It's General Santucci with a 2v2. It's not CWB, but you can't use Ellie or Art. So I'm fight where the Greeks are coming in, and they're allied with the Germans down there. The German guy seems like he was going to be a big threat with those berserkers over here. Highly upgraded. He's got 4 of them. Then his women are pushing the. He's got 5 siege things. He's got a bunch of night raiders. He's got some night raiders, I think. Some archers. Yeah, I mean his guys aren't really super upgraded. Or that's crazy, but I put on here. I figured it's the best strategic place to mount the defense. My urbans are on this slope. Right now they're on guard mode. They are gold, and I believe 1 experienced chevron. And then I got 2 reserve urbans in the back, and 1 gladiator, gold, silver, and I have 3 archer auxilia. Behind that, two crappy swordsmen, which they're all right. And then I got these Forester warband back here, and on this other defensive place, it's not really that good, but I have a silver legionary cohort and gold 1 experienced chevron urban cohort with supporting infantry of 3 Samnite gladiators silver, and I have 5 archer units. Here I have my general, which soon I'm going to put over here just in case. I told him to have units on standby to support my legionary first cohort, and over here he's got a bunch of chosen swordsmen. It's a good idea, because the Greek player here has a bunch of Spartans. I know that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 6 Spartan units, and they're not super upgraded, but he does have supporting infantry. He has armored hoplites 2 back there, and he's got some crappy units up here. And he does have these guys, which could wreck those guys up there. So and I think he kept his general back here, which is alright. I bring him up there when the fighting happens. So I'm going to fast forward this, because YouTube's a piece of crap, and it only let me do 2 gigs, and I want to keep this in high def if possible. And I had another battles of 2v2 with the using the Germans, and I beat the Romans in a pitched battle. Completely slaughtered him. So, but he left. He was the host. So I even said before I fought him, I said, if I somehow beat you, are you going to leave the game? And he didn't respond. So that's pretty stupid. So you can see we're exchanging archer fire here. This is when he brings up his big dudes here. He's running into a hail of death, because I think those foresters are laying waste too, and they can shoot just as far as mine, if not more. So he's gonna start screaming, using these women to scream. So what I did, I was gonna use my gladiator here to slow them down, but I realized they're too far away, and they have supporting infantry. Well, sort of. I probably could have taken him. So I was gonna go after him again. I was like, I can take him, and I'm like, you know what? Arrows. Let me get out of here. What I'll do is I'll just put them in the ranks of the urbans, and just let them come out at the last second. So every urban is still on guard mode. I'm not going to take him off guard mode. So now this is when I take him. I saw his general right up here, so I told them all to throw their javelins. I think I still kept him on guard mode at this point, except for this side here. And I sent out gladiators too. I need to slow these guys down. And he's sending up his berserkers. Look at all these berserkers coming up here. I was a little worried. So I'm going to end up sending my reserves in right away. We are just getting wrecked in the side. He already has someone routing, and it's the women, so they don't want anything to do with this. So I'm going to commit every urban cohort now. You can see here they come. My gladiators, I don't know if there's any alive. Yeah, there's a few alive, but they're dying very quickly. They did not rout, by the way. They fought to the last man to the death. This is when I start letting them off guard mode, every one of them. So my guys are so upgraded, it's ridiculous. And on top of that, they're on a hill. But what I didn't realize was these guys were shooting the backs of my men. I think they were. This is the big part here. Victory seems certain, which is good. You see how the urbans are slowly moving down the hill. And back in the when Julius Caesar was fighting the Germans, he was going to take the stronghold with the king in it. His name is Ariovistus. So they forced the Germans to fight before they're ready. They wanted to wait till the full moon came out because it's something to do with their gods. And but the good thing is that's one good thing, a psychological thing over the Germans. And the second thing, Julius Caesar only found out after the battle that Suebian reinforcements were going to help the Germans. So they did use a phalanx formation. People have been wondering this. They did use phalanx formation. They had long spears, and when they were fighting the 10th, they had a big line. The 10th was on the right wing of the Julius Caesar's army. The Germans moved up there so fast that they didn't have time to throw the pilum. So what happened was the Germans had thought, well, they're never going to get past these spears. So all of a sudden the charge horn is sounded, and the first line of Julius Caesar's army comes down, and the 10th Legion brushes away these spears and jumps over dives onto the Germans, inflicting horrible face and neck wounds and just severely destroying them. And they routed the left flank of the German army. But on the other side of the army, the other line, the Romans were being pushed back. The Germans were doing good. But all at once, seeing this, the 10th Legion swung around and just steamrolled right over the troops and just completely slaughtered them. And in those reinforcements, Julius Caesar found out where they were coming from, and he marched 3 legions up there within 24 within one day, 24 miles, and they just dropped their arms. They're like, I don't want any of this. So from that battle, he looted the city. I think it was Bebracht, the city was called. They wanted to secure the grain supply for the army. And then they fought the Helvetii tribe, which I'll tell you next time. Actually, I'll tell you now. The Helvetii were the Swiss. They were migrating from Switzerland. They had about 380,000, and the army was about 100,000 strong, and they all used phalanx formations with the helmet crest, the plume, and all that stuff. So, seeing after he defeated the Germans in that fight, he got enough grain to keep the legions fed for about another month or so. So what happened was he went to attack the big column of the Helvetii. So what happened was the Helvetii sent off their cavalry to meet Caesar's cavalry, but Caesar's cavalry routed the Helvetii cavalry. Actually, hold on one sec with that. I'm sending over my 3 gladiator units over here. I'm going to try to box them in a little bit over here. So what happened was the Helvetii, they formed one giant phalanx, long line of phalanxes, and like normally the phalanx was about, I think it was 16 across, and about 16 deep, or was it 8 deep, or something like that. Well, since it didn't have shortage of soldiers, that wasn't really a problem to do. But Julius Caesar had a hill. He had 40,000 legionnaires, and he told them to let loose with the first line with their javelins. And what happened was the phalanx, they put the overlapping shields, and what happened was they tried to block the pila with their shields, and it wasn't just that easy, because Consul Marius, when they did the Marius reform, he engineered the pila to have soft metal behind the point, so whenever it was thrown, it would get lodged into a shield, and it just bent, and it was very difficult to get out. So they couldn't just pull it out. So there would be two of them getting lodged together at one time, and they're trying to free it, and it was messing up their formation. Some of them, many of them, threw their shields away, leaving them virtually defenseless. And Julius Caesar told the first line to charge, and they got so annihilated, it was ridiculous. It was probably like one of the most bloody battles. It was 80,000 of them. None of them ran for their lives or anything either, so I mean, it's pretty impressive. But they did have a rear guard that had about 16,000 reinforcements, and they when they're running after them, they're being pushed back. Of course, they weren't really running. They turned and hit the Roman right flank. Seeing this, Julius Caesar ordered the third line to take on the 16,000 reinforcements, and the two first lines to take on the Helvetii main column. And but the Helvetii saw that happen, and so they reformed and attacked again. So, but Julius Caesar ended up pushing them back, and some fled for their lives at the end. But they made their way to the lager, where they kept all the goods, grain, and all good stuff. All the possessions of the Helvetii, and the women and children, and it was just crazy. Julius Caesar ended up sending them back to Switzerland, which is probably the nicest thing he's ever done, because usually he would put them to slavery. Alright, it's a little history lesson, but here we go. You can see now the Spartans are boxed in. It doesn't really look like he could have did a lot better here, but my gladiators are just destroying his guys. Gladiators are really, really badass. Mess with them. So what I'm doing here, I'm bringing up my general just to seal off the victory. That's a Gaul house? Wait, where's my house? The Roman house. Oh, it's all Gaul? That's bullcrap. So, look. There we go. We're surrounding them pretty good. My urbans are actually swooping around with the gladiators, boxing them in. And my general just charged down there with his first cohort. And he still has reinforcements. And he just seals it off here with a nice rear cavalry strike. So, yeah, I still have a free-for-all I'm going to show you. Yeah, we just destroy them. Yeah, he made a defeat, so hope you guys enjoyed this 2v2. I thought I was done. Had the most kills, though. It's amazing. The other guy that fought had 88 kills. Thought he had more than that. Alright guys, well, I'll see you next time, and I'll give you more history lessons. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And good game to my opponents. Actually, my ally, Milo, and my opponents, Tom, I, Slav, and Mike the Great. My name is also Mike. Haha. See ya.